49 years that Preservation of Historic Winchester has been involved in doing just that. Can you hear? Can't hear? Now can you hear? That better? Didn't see you back there, Betty. Betsy. I'd like to say a couple of comments about the year, the state of preservation this year. I know you share in my enthusiasm and excitement that the Taylor Hotel is finally, it looks like it's going to be a reality. The city, bless their heart, and the EDA, bless their heart, have come up with the money and the motivation to fix the Taylor Hotel and restore it to its previous glory. So that's the biggest news, I think, in town, the biggest news since we've been here for the past 10 years. So we're very excited about that. We got so excited we put a sign out front congratulating the city on the Taylor Hotel. My good friend George Schember accused me of PHW taking credit for the restoration. Yes, I mean no, obviously, but we wanted to celebrate with the citizens this wonderful achievement. So I hope to be back when they unveil, crash the champagne against the front of the facade when it's all done. Also, even though it's not really a preservation effort, one of the awards, not to steal your thunder, John, one of the awards that we're going to give out is for the city's work on the mall. While it doesn't restore the mall in any way or preserve it the way it was, thank goodness, and in fact it enhances the mall and enhances the wonderful architecture on the mall, and we're very happy about that, and we'll be giving the city an award for that. Now that only costs $7.1 million, and money well spent. The Taylor Hotel looks like a bargain compared to that. We've had a number of events this year. You might have, some of you have attended Memberfest and membership sign up. We had a membership campaign in Gene Smith's library, gallery, and that was well attended. And if you came, you enjoyed the party. If you didn't come, you missed a great party. And we had over 70 new members or lapsed members sign up at that event. So that was a great success for us. Also, of course, the PHW hosted the Holiday House Tour, and I hope you all were able to take advantage of that. We brought in about $8,000 in that fundraising effort. We also had a silent auction and reception at the Samuel Noakes house, the old barber shop, most of us know it as. Dr. Chesson, the owner, shared his renovation project through our website, and you may have seen the pictures of all the work that was done there. He also hosted a party there for us, and as a fundraiser, and we had a silent auction for some of the items in the old barber shop, including the barber's chair, and which went for a nice, tidy sum of money, which goes into our coffers. How much?
$1,100.
$1,100 for the old barber chair. Nancy Murphy and Sharon Collette had a poker party at the Grimmore House at one of our Covenant houses, which is now owned by Sharon, or it owns her. I'm not sure which it is at the moment, but she is the custodian of the house. Great party was had there. Most exciting, I think, is what we've done in education. We've had 2 retreats in my time on the board, and at the end of each retreat the boards agreed that the most important thing that PHW should do is education. And we have fallen short year after year, I believe, in those efforts until this year, when Ed Acker, our Vice President for Education, has come up with a series of lectures and how-to presentations. We've had 4 so far, including how to stay warm in your historic house with modern storm windows, how to repair and restore historic brick and mortar. The DHR put on a presentation for us. And then John Willingham, the president of the City Council, gave a speech about how to utilize state and federal historic tax credits. John's a believer in tax credits because it's made possible many of his projects. He's a developer, as you may know. And so he's a believer, and in fact, the city is now intent upon expanding the historic district so that other property owners can have the advantage of tax credits for historic preservation. And we've had several interns in the past year. Michael St. Jacques, Dana Nordling, Marlena Spencer is here, and we're having Taylor Hicks come later this fall. I would ask each of you to give some thought about what it is that you think we should be doing, we as an organization. We, of course, the board, are representatives of the membership, and we need to know what it is that you think we should be doing. Now, Betsy Helm said you people need to have fun, you need to have parties, you need to make this an event that people want to come to, that we used to come to cocktail parties at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I said, Betsy, nobody drinks cocktails anymore. She says, that's not the point. The point is to have a fun get-together. And so what we have for you today, hopefully, is a fun get-together. We will have croquet on the front lawn, and for those of you who claim, as I have, that I haven't played that in years, we've got the rules for you. So please join us on the front lawn of here or Selma House for tournament croquet at the Selma House and fun tournament out front here. So we do depend upon you to help us out in spotting issues. Let me give you one example. One of our members was passing by the Gavis house on Braddock Street. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. And he noticed that one of the walls, the north-facing wall, had collapsed overnight, apparently. And he took a picture of that. And he sent the picture to one of our board members, who sent it to me. And I sent it on to the city. And the city said, gee, thanks for telling us, and we'll look into it. And that now has prompted, I think, the most serious challenge to Mr. Gavis's stewardship or lack of stewardship of that property. So the city now, as I understand it, moving to condemn it and the property and fix it, and then charge Mr. Gavis for the pleasure of fixing it. So we'll see where that leads, but that could also be an exciting development if we ever get the Gavis house to where it should be. Well, without further, if anyone has ideas right now, you're free to speak up. If not, approach me or one of the board members afterwards. Now, if I can turn the microphone over to Mary Riley for a financial report.
Thank you, Frank. We had a good year. PHW has been fortunate to have the services of Sandra Bosley on a full-time basis a little over the last year and a half or so, and it's been great. One of her charges has been to increase membership, and I'm pleased to say that our membership dues were up 31% this past year versus the previous year. So I think that's the highlight of this report. There are copies of preliminary reports in the kitchen. You're welcome to pick up a copy. If there are not enough, please let me know. I'll get you one. I will also be happy to provide copies of our Form 990 if you like also. Holiday House Tour had a good year. We rely on that. Holiday House Tour and membership for our main sources of income, and we rely on corporate sponsorships for the Holiday House Tour, and we're very pleased that those have come in very well in the last year. Our investment account is doing very well. We made a decision in November to move some of our endowment type money into a stock fund, which is up 30% since that time. Or I should say, no, it's up $30,000 or 20%, excuse me. Anyway, I'll be happy to answer any other questions later if you have any. And now I'll turn it over to John Barker. Thank you, Rick.
My name's John Barker. I'm the incoming president this year, and Frank is becoming the past president, but we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. I wanted to just go over a couple of things about what's coming up for us this year. What's coming up? Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up for PHW in this coming year. We are working with the city in 2011. PHW and the city teamed up to do an update of the historical district in Winchester, and they've done a preliminary information form to the Department of Historic Resources, and the next step in that process is to look at expanding the historic district in Winchester. A lot of that work has been done, but there's a little bit more work that needs to be done to complete that. The city of Winchester is working on that, and we are again teaming up with the city to do a matching fund for a grant from
it's a certified
local government grant, where PHW and the city of Winchester puts in a certain amount of money in a bid to obtain this grant from Department of Historic Resources. That money will be used to finalize the historic district expansion. So that's probably going to be one of the bigger things. Ed Acker is also going to be continuing his Lunch and Learn seminars. I don't have the list of what topics are going to be done in the fall, but that is something that he's going to be continuing with. Probably one of the most exciting things is the Holiday House Tour. That is our main function. Believe it or not, we are 90% of the way there already for this year's Holiday House Tour. Tina Marie Scully has taken chairman of the Holiday House Tour for this year, and we already have the Bow and Dough shop lined up. We have the preview house lined up, and I think we have 6 houses already lined up right now. Usually it's November when we do it, but we've got that pretty much done for this year. It's going to be on South Washington Street. It's going to be the main area this year, but it's for us on the board, it's a big, huge relief to be able to have everything lined up this early in the game. Usually it's November and we're still scrambling. So hopefully the time that we have coming up at the end of the year, we'll be able to put our focus on our mailings and getting the word out, and hopefully increasing the participation in the Holiday House Tour. I do have a note here that I also wanted to thank Sandra for her work this year. This is her 2nd year as a full-time employee, and she's done a great job. Like Mary said, the membership is up, but Sandra helps keep us board members focused on what we need to do, and she makes sure we get it done. Other than that, we did in our retreat in 2011, we kind of reaffirmed again that our committees that we have are the way that we need to be doing our work. And we do have, we have our Issues and Advocacy Committee, which the Vice President of that committee is Richie Pfeiffer. We have the Education Committee, which Ed Acker is the Vice President of that. We have the Membership and Events Committee. Doug Watson's heading that with help from Nancy Murphy. And then we have a newly formed committee for finance, headed up by Mary, and part of that is what she said, where she's moved some money, or the board has decided to move some money into some stocks and basically take better advantage of the savings that we've got and the way the economy's going right now. So with all that, I think we need to go ahead and do our election of the board of directors for this year. I'm going to go ahead and just read the current board of directors that are not up for election this year. Their terms expire in 2014. But if you're here today, if you can just raise your hand or stand up real quick. Of course, myself as incoming president. Bruce Downing is secretary. I haven't seen Bruce here today. Richie Pfeiffer, vice president of advocacy and issues. Mary Riley, of course, treasurer. Doug Watson, Doug's vice president of membership and advance. Larry Belkin, I don't think I saw Larry. Bill Buton, Sharon Collette is here, and Nancy Murphy. All these people are in their current terms. Up for re-election that we'll need to vote on today, we have Ed Acker, Vice President of the Education Committee. Ed joined the board in 2012, and he's a retired architect from Nyack, New York. Done a lot of work with restoration and historical homes. I think Ed's been a great fit with this board this year and last year. Dr. Cal Allen, he joined the board. Is Cal here?
No.
I didn't see him. Cal joined the board in 2011. He's the Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs at Shenandoah University. Karen Clay, Karen's here. Karen, she was the Executive Director for PHW in the 80s, I believe. And then she joined the board in 2009. Karen is currently a teacher for arts at Sacred Heart Academy in Winchester, and I Googled you last night and believe you hold a Master's of Science degree in Historic Preservation from the University of Vermont.
Right.
I did not attend University of Vermont, but I've been there a few times from being in that neck of the woods, and it's a beautiful place. Reverend Dan McCoy. Dan's not here today, I don't think. Dan joined the board in 2009. He's the associate pastor for the First Presbyterian Church on the Old Town Mall. He's apparently a preservation advocate because he purchased the George Reed House on Piccadilly Street and renovated that. He's currently living there, and he had the Holiday House Tour in 2010. Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy joined us in 2011. His real job, I don't think Jimmy was here, I didn't see him. Jimmy's real job, he is an attorney, but he's also a preservation advocate. He's spent a great deal of time and effort, and I'm sure a lot of money, but he's done renovations down on South Kent Street. We have one new nominee this year, Patrick Ferris. Patrick was and I don't think Patrick's here today either.
I think so.
Patrick was on the board back in the early 2000s. He's currently the executive director for the Warren Heritage Society in Front Royal, and he's a professor at Shepherd University and Lord Fairfax College. Patrick's also very involved in the community. He's been on the Winchester Tree Commission, the Board of Architectural Review, and he's a president or past president of the French and Indian War Foundation. And that's just a few of the highlights for Patrick that I know of. So at this time, if somebody can give us a motion to approve these board of directors. Is there any nominations from the floor for any additional board members? Then nominations will be closed. Can I have a motion to accept the existing or the nominations that I've read off? Do I have a second? You do need to be a board or a PHW member to vote. If you are, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So it's a unanimous. So we have our board members for 2013.